March 19th to 22nd, 2026, Ukraine's deep strikes, disruption of Russian onslaught, and costly enemy losses. Ukraine protects the Middle East from drones. The period of March 19th to 22nd, 2026 became one of the most intense stretches of the month for both the front lines and the enemy's rear. According to official morning reports from the General Staff, these 4 days saw 235, 201, 161, and 148 combat engagements, respectively. This totals 745 clashes, indicating that the Russian Federation maintained an extraordinarily high tempo of assault operations, despite sustaining heavy losses. Notably, during this period, Ukraine did not just hold the line, it systematically targeted the enemy's operational and deep rear zones. On the night of March 19th, the Defense Forces struck ammunition depots in occupied Donetsk, Yalta, Donetsk region, and Kalanchak, Kherson region, a logistics warehouse near Vesele, a fuel and lubricant depot near Novotroitske, and several enemy manpower concentrations. That same night, in occupied Crimea, a strike hit the Granite Innovation Center, part of the Almaz anti-concern, on Fialent Highway, a facility used for repairing and maintaining Russian air defense systems, including the S-400, S-300 PM2, Buk-M2/M3, and Tor-M2. On March 20th, the pressure intensified. Defense forces targeted the Alchevsk metallurgical plant in occupied Luhansk, which produces artillery shell casings and armored steel, as well as the infrastructure of the Vostochny training ground in Novopetrivka, occupied Zaporizhia. Additionally, damage to an A-50 long-range radar detection aircraft was confirmed at the 123rd Aircraft Repair Plant in Staraya Russa, a direct blow to Russia's military aviation maintenance capabilities. On the night of March 21st, Ukrainian deep strikes yielded further results. The General Staff reported a hit on the Saratov Oil Refinery, which produces fuel for the occupying army. Preliminary data suggests damage to a secondary processing unit and a vertical storage tank. Strikes also hit a command post of the Rubicon Center Unit in Mariupol, a repair unit in Khleborobne, and an observation post in Paraskoviivka. As of March 22nd, new reports emerged. Commander of the Unmanned Systems Forces, Robert Brovdi, announced the destruction of a Buk-M3 SAM system and a Buk-M2 loader launcher in the Bryansk region, as well as a strike on a Triumf radar in the Donetsk region. The situation on the ground. Regarding Russian assaults, the picture is telling. The Pokrovsk and Kostiantinivka directions remained the hottest spots. Pokrovsk direction, 54, 30, 32, and 28 assaults stopped over the 4 days. Kostiantinivka direction, 32, 25, 22, and 17 attacks repelled. Even as the total number of engagements began to decline from the March 19th peak, the enemy continued to push where they sought a gap in the defense. This appears less like a stable offensive and more like an exhausting burning of reserves in an attempt to overwhelm Ukrainian lines with sheer numbers. Enemy losses. The losses sustained by the Russian Federation during this window are staggering. According to official reports, Russia lost 1,520, 1,610, 1,240, and 940 personnel daily. Total, at least 5,310 personnel in 4 days. Artillery losses totaled 132 systems, 32, 31, 39, and 30. In terms of UAVs, the numbers reflect a separate front of attrition: 1,391, 1,480, 1,781, and 1,885 units, totaling 6,537 enemy drones. The General Staff also officially recorded the loss of one Russian helicopter during this period. Analytically, March 20th was the peak for personnel losses, 1,610, while March 22 saw a record for UAV losses, 1,885. Even where the enemy tried to compensate for manpower with mass drone usage, Ukraine forced them to pay an increasingly high price. The symbol of the period: Ka-52 versus FPV. A unique highlight of this period was the destruction of a Russian Ka-52 Alligator by an FPV drone on March 20th. Operators from the Predators of the Heights 59th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade used a fiber-optic FPV drone to take down the $16 million attack helicopter near Nadjivka, Pokrovsk direction. The crew attempted to escape after an emergency landing, but was liquidated by pilots from the 414th Birds of Magyar Brigade. While Russian aviation channels rumored the loss of a second Ka-52 within 24 hours, this remains unconfirmed by the Ukrainian General Staff and should be treated as a probable but not official second loss. Ukraine's global impact: exporting security. A vital storyline of this period is the expansion of Ukrainian expertise far beyond its borders. As of March 22, 2026, it is confirmed: Ukrainian counter-drone specialists are working in the Middle East and Gulf states, helping partners defend against Iranian Shahed drones. On March 17th, President Zelensky informed the UK Parliament that 201 Ukrainians are already in the region, with 34 more ready for deployment. Teams have worked in the UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia and are heading to Kuwait at the request of partners, including the US. Reuters reported on March 20th that Ukraine has deployed 228 specialists across 5 countries. While local air defenses handle ballistic missiles, Ukrainians focus on Shahed waves using battle-tested technology and tactics. Changing the economics of war. Ukraine's value to the Middle East is in its laboratory of innovation. Having faced nearly 60,000 Shaheds, Ukraine has learned to do what expensive Western systems often struggle with: downing cheap drones affordably. While a Shahed costs roughly $50,000, partners sometimes use missiles costing up to $4 million to intercept them. Ukraine has mastered stopping them with small interceptors totaling less than $10,000. Ukraine is no longer just a country asking for weapons. It is a state exporting security and teaching allies how to protect their skies. There is a deep historical justice in the fact that the nation first targeted by the Iranian-Russian model of terror is now helping others avoid that same path of pain. The fight against the axis of evil is not confined to the Ukrainian front. Ukrainian experience is now a global asset. Where authoritarian regimes bring cheap drone terror, Ukraine brings practice, systems, technology, and the will to resist. Thank you for watching. Stay on the side of good. Support Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.